Welcome to Ear Biscuits, the podcast where two lifelong friends talk about life for a long time. I'm Rhett.
And I'm Link. This week at the roundest table of dim lighting in the world.
Oh, that's quite a claim.
What? Oh, you went on a trip, and we're going to talk about it.
Oh, I was going to say, you forgot what
No,
was
I
happening?
didn't. When I changed it up, I didn't know how to keep going.
Oh.
Rhett went to, I always want to say Portugal, but that was over a year ago. This year, my boy went to, don't tell me. I do remember, but
my God.
It's Portugal in my brain.
Okay, well, let's let it be
It
Portugal.
keeps going to, but it's kind of similar. There was like a beach.
What an American perspective.
There's like a rocky coast.
What a Americentric.
And
I've been there before.
It's Europe.
A hint, I've also been to this country before.
And people are really starting to go there and enjoy it. And what is it called?
I'm not going to give it to you because when you make the connection, you'll grow a new neuron.
I don't like the implication that I need to do that.
You better hold on to that neuron as hard as you can. It rhymes.
It ends in an N. The last letter.
No,
is
it doesn't. it rhymes with Croatia.
Croatia. Yeah, who goes to Croatia, man? A lot of people, apparently. It's a beautiful land.
Yeah.
From the two pictures that I saw.
I got more pictures that I will share on the socials.
So Rhett's going to tell us about that. But first, I'm going to spend 17 minutes clearing my throat.
By the way, I cleared it up. This is only days after that. I cleared it up. It turns out, you know what it was? It was a sickness that was trying to get the best of me, and I stamped it out.
Okay. How do you know that?
Well, because I had it the next day, too. Like, it was like a sore throat the next day.
Okay.
And then I said, and it went away. Might have been allergies. Who knows?
So if you're watching the video version of Ear Biscuits, which of course comes out on Wednesdays on the YouTube channel, then you'll be able to look at the pictures. If you're just listening, which of course that comes out every Monday, then you're just listening and you can visualize the pictures and you can watch the video later. But what you really need to get geared up for is WonderHole Season 2. The first episode comes out this coming Sunday at 11 a.m. Pacific. That's 2 p.m. Eastern. On Sunday, this Sunday afternoon. What date is that?
24th? 24th. August 24th.
August 24th of 2025. A date that will go down in the history as being the debut of WonderHole Season 2. If you're a member of the society, as of the Wednesday preceding this Sunday, you can watch every episode ad-free. First tier, second tier, third tier, any version of the society tiers, you get to watch it early and free, the entire episode. So a little something special for you society members.
So if you're watching this episode on YouTube, then it's already up.
It's already up there.
On the society.
So yeah, every Sunday for the next 6 weeks, an episode of WonderHole will come out on Sunday. And we are so excited about it.
And we'll talk a little bit about, we're gonna do our, we're not gonna like talk about WonderHole multiple episodes or anything like that, but we're gonna, next week we'll talk more about WonderHole once is it next week or
Yeah, next week.
Once an episode is out, you can get an idea of what we're doing and where we're going, and then we can talk about it together as a group. Class discussion.
Yeah. Croatia.
Well, Croatia is only part of it,
Croatia.
Don't limit me to just Croatia when my vacation started in Boston.
That's right. Okay, I remember.
Shepard's doing a little summer camp type thing, summer program in Boston. And so we went up there to drop him off at the beginning of our break. Me and my wife, Jessie. And
did you put a note on him and say, we're going to Croatia, take care of this guy?
No, it's a little more official than that. There was paperwork and a fee. Turns out there's a fee for these people to watch him for a month.
Okay.
Quite a fee. Can I just talk about Boston for a second?
Yeah. Feel free.
I would have told you, if you had asked me, list the cities that you want to go to in America that you have been to. It would have taken me a while to get to Boston.
You might not would have ever gotten there.
Well, I mean,
On a
eventually.
list?
On a list? I would have gotten there on a list if it was exhaustive.
Okay.
Because we've been there one time, I think.
I remember, I remember we went there, I think we went there with the Alka-Seltzer road trip we went through there because I remember walking, we went into
Lobster. That was that. That was that.
Yeah, it was.
The thing that started the whole local commercials thing. Maybe the reason that we're even at this table right now in Los Angeles is because we went to Boston.
Yeah. But I also remember that we had a limited amount of time before we had to get back into that RV and go to another city.
Yeah, we didn't
and
get
make
to
another
experience things.
But we went in the Cheers bar. You don't remember that?
I do now that you've said it. I forgot all about it.
Actually, it's only the outside. Of course, the inside is a TV set. It's not the actual bar.
Well, yeah.
So that like the facade, it's an actual
It's like
bar.
the restaurant in Seinfeld. It's like, this is the exterior that we show.
It's the exterior. That's the word I'm looking for. But I do think we went in.
I like to believe that we did. We also were once invited to MIT. Can you believe that we were invited to MIT to speak?
At a conference, at ROFL.
Yeah. I didn't want to say what it was.
It's the budding world of internet celebrities got together in ROFL, Roll on the Floor Laughing Con.
Mm-hmm. This is like VidCon before VidCon.
Yeah. And I remember we hung out with iJustine and Brookers. Brookers?
Yeah.
Brookers. See, I remember
You have a good long-term
the neurons,
memory.
Man.
It's your short-term and working memory that we need to work on, and it's my long-term memory that I need to work on. And together, we have a perfect memory.
Can one work on a long-term memory?
Well, it's a long-term project.
I think you just keep renovating your short-term memory, and it stays. If I'm not good with the short-term memory, does that mean nothing new is getting put into the long-term memory?
Quite possibly.
Like,
I don't know how it works. Ostensibly, at one point, your short-term memory was good, and that's how you remember the old things.
Or my brain just knows this is going directly into long-term. And so a year from now, you will easily remember that Rhett went to Boston and Croatia the year after he went to Portugal.
Well, you know the thing that you did, the kinds of things that you tend to remember very well, much better than me?
Sense.
Well, that wasn't where I was going to go, because I think I'm a pretty good smeller. Well, first of all, song lyrics, which is a different thing. Like that part of your brain is very intact. But experiences, going places.
Yeah.
And I
think it's a spatial memory, actually.
And I don't remember experiences. I remember concepts. And so like oh, we went there, and I'm like, oh yeah, you're right, we did. But I never think about that unless I wrote it down in like a journal or something, or we then talked about it again. If I don't run the memory through something, other part of my brain, I would never remember ROFLCon again. All I could have told you is that I've been to MIT. Don't remember anything about it. It's just I remember that as a concept.
And our wives were with us. And
I do remember the road trip from Boston to New York.
Yeah, we were in New York and we just tacked that on. So I remember driving out there.
But let's talk about this trip to Boston.
Okay.
All that to say, Boston is a beautiful city. You know, first of all, I love an East Coast city. Can we give it up for East Coast cities? Mm-hmm. You know, there's something about them. They've been around for longer. They have much more.
Well, you should go to Dublin.
They have much more. Well, they are much more like
right.
older European cities. But there's something about the combination of the fact that they happen to be the first coast that, you know, the settlers got to, and so they are more settled. But also the foliage, the plant life. It's not a desert. You know what I mean? It's a temperate forest or something. I don't know the terms. There's big, old trees everywhere, and there's a lot of green that seems to just sustain itself without a whole lot of sprinklers.
Yeah.
And the buildings are beautiful, and there's just something, and also the thing about Boston is it feels like New York in that there's a lot of stuff going on in a tight space, but it's smaller, more concentrated, and it's cleaner. Can I just say that? Boston feels super clean. I kind of like a dirty city, a dirty,
Cleaner
potentially
than
New York.
Okay.
And definitely cleaner than LA. But like,
Yeah.
I kind of like a dirty, somewhat dangerous city. Like, I'm not scared of that. I kind of like turning down the wrong corner and seeing what happens. There's a part of me that likes that. And I'm sure there's parts of Boston that are like that.
I don't like walking around and all of a sudden I get hit with this scent, and I will call it a smell. I'll call it a stink. You get hit with a stink, so I've gotten really good at the moment a stink starts to enter, I expel it.
Breathe through your mouth, you're still getting it.
No,
Yeah, and then you're just eating it.
I learned this from my dogs. Whenever they smell a fart, yeah, they push it back out.
Yeah. Once you smell it, it's too late. It's already in your brain.
Right, but then you push it out. You know, I don't need any more information from this fart or from this.
I understand.
This block
like
of the city.
a dumpster.
You didn't happen upon any Boston stink?
I mean, I'm not as stink averse as you. Stink make me horny, as you know. And so I don't, there's less of that though. There's no like piles of trash bags on the street corner that you kick and multiple rats come out of.
Well, you might not have been there the right day.
Also true. It was 4th of July weekend, and it was, you're in this part of the country that, where we took the Freedom Trail, whatever that thing is, with the audio, and you're in this part of the country where it's just like a lot of the history of America can be traced to specific places and people and events that happen there, and it's kind of a cool thing to explore. We got to see the fireworks on the harbor.
Where the Tea Party happened?
Yeah, I guess so.
You didn't think about that?
Well, no, I went to, listen, man, I did the Freedom Walk. I talked all about the Tea Party.
Okay.
And then went to Paul Revere's house again. I was like, I've already been there with Link. But I decided to go back because my wife really wanted to go. And it was the same.
I don't remember that.
They have not renovated the Paul Revere house since 10 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Which is a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
For a little decorative update.
Really could use a dual vanity in there.
And but we just had a great time. And then the other thing that I love about the city is it is such a high concentration of educational centers. Right there, like you could set a drone up right there in the middle of the river, and you could see Harvard, MIT, Boston College, Boston University, Tufts University, the Berklee College of Music, and there's just one after. There's so many more, and there's something about I've always had this like
inferiority complex.
Well, yes, I always have had this fascination with universities.
Love of higher learning.
And the idea of like being a professor with an office on an old university campus with brick buildings and big trees, and like being in my office just like learning something and then occasionally going out and like saying things to a group of people and then coming back. Which
again is not it's not complete fantasy, because you had an up close and personal view of this. You're describing your dad's profession.
Yeah, he was a law professor. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's actually a well-informed fantasy that you have here. Typically, those type of things are something like, but yeah, it's different when you actually do it. I still could see that for you.
Maybe I'll be an adjunct.
You could be an adjunct. I mean, there's like,
Lupe
Fiasco is a hip hop professor at like. It could be MIT for all I know. One of those places.
Well,
I don't know why it would be at MIT, but it's somewhere like that.
But I love college towns. First of all, there's just something about people in that age group who are becoming who they're going to be, and they're learning all this stuff. And like they're passionate about things and they're radical about things.
Yeah.
Like they get so passionate and so idealistic about whatever ideology they're currently exploring, and of course we have
And they
that
don't get
same experience.
tired.
Right, they
You
stay
can
up
get
all the
passionate,
time.
but then you get tired, or the next day you just have to devote to recovery.
And there is an energy that descends upon a place that has that type of stuff going on. And Boston has so much of it. And there's so many good places to eat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just a big fan.
Aerosmith.
It's from there?
Oh yeah. I would like to go for the record shops, but go ahead.
So anyway, I was
Buy an original pump.
very excited, and then started, trying to convince Shepard that you should go to college at one of these places so I could come back and visit. We'll see how that goes. I'm not gonna make my kid do things like that though. But he loves it too. He's still there, coming back I think next week, and he is having the time of his life. He loves it there. It's a great place to be in the summer, apparently. Not so great to be there in the winter, apparently. Some people have said. I don't know. I've never been there.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a lot of people here at Mythical from, what's the Emerson, right? And Emerson's in Boston. Am I right about that?
Yeah.
Emerson. So we have we have a bunch of, there was a bit of an Emerson Mythical pipeline for a while there. We still have some coming. And anyway, so there's a tie there. Now, that was only a few days. And then it was off to
Croatia.
Croatia, that's right, Link.
Never forget. There was a time when we were building our business that we were trying to stretch every dollar, planning meals, skipping impulse buys, and timing purchases just right. Something we wish we had back then was the right tool to make that kind of money management way more doable. And that's where Klarna comes in. Klarna is your smarter, everyday spending partner. It's not just about splitting payments, though that's there when you need it. Klarna helps you shop smarter by showing price comparisons, offering cash back, and tracking your purchases all in one place. It kind of fits into how I already shop. Whether I'm checking out online or just browsing for the best deal in the app, it helps me feel informed and on top of things without any added stress. Whether you're paying now or later, Klarna helps you stay in control with no interest and no surprises. So, download the Klarna app to get started or learn more at Klarna.com. California resident loans made or arranged pursuant to a California finance law license. NMLS number 1353190. Klarna balance account required. Klarna may get a commission. Limitations, terms, and conditions apply. Okay, real talk. HelloFresh has always made dinner time easier, but this summer, they've totally outdone themselves. This isn't the HelloFresh you remember. It's bigger, healthier, tastier, and honestly, kind of a game changer.
They've doubled their menu. Now there are 100 recipes every week. I'm talking seasonal dishes, global flavors, comfort food, lighter options, you name it. And yes, the portions are bigger too, so no one's sneaking snacks an hour later.
If you're trying to eat healthier, they've got your back with new high protein and veggie-packed recipes. Some have even 2 or more veggies built right in, which I love when I want to feel balanced without doing math.
And seafood lovers, listen up. There's now 3 times more seafood, and you can get steak and seafood recipes every week at no extra cost. I made a sesame glazed salmon last week that felt like something I would have paid $30 for at a restaurant.
I use HelloFresh, and you should too. It's America's #1 choice for a reason. The best way to cook just got better.
Go to HelloFresh.com/ear10FM now to get 10 free meals plus a free item for life, 1 per box with active subscription.
Free meals applied at discount on the first box. New subscribers only, varies by plan. That's HelloFresh.com/ear10FM to get 10 free meals and a free item for life.
Croatia, beautiful country. If you need help locating it on a map, picture the map in your head. You know where Italy, the boot, jumps out into the Mediterranean Sea.
Okay, you talking about Italy?
Yep.
As my dad calls it?
And then
go up the shin.
No, go up the back, go up the calf.
Okay, go up the calf.
Assuming that the boot points left?
Yeah.
Go up the right side, the eastern side of Italy.
There you go.
And go all the way to the coast
to
of
the
the
knee?
Mediterranean.
Go to the knee?
Well, like we're past the boot.
I know. What's
we're,
past
we're the knee would be like Switzerland up there. I'm not continuing to, I'm following the coastline.
Yeah, but I think that's the coastline is the thigh.
Let's just say Italy. So you're following Italy, and then you're following the coastline on the east side, and then it kind of curves back to become the north side of the Mediterranean, and then it starts curving down again to be the eastern side of this whole Mediterranean Sea that is jutting into Europe and Asia, Europe. And then right there on the eastern side of that, you have Croatia. So right across from Italy, like if you were to jump off of the calf of Italy eastward, the first country you would hit, well, depending on where you aimed, would be Croatia.
Okay. And you chose Croatia because of Game of Thrones.
No, I didn't.
But they did film stuff there?
Let's just say Croatia in some ways, and to some consternation of the locals, which I will get into in a moment, has become a Game of Thrones museum.
Oh. Like King's Landing?
King's Landing. I don't know. I read the first book and I watched the first season. And then my wife went on without me. And so I feel like I am I was frozen in a fetal development stage when it comes to Game of Thrones. So I felt a little inadequate. But yeah, like the Red Keep, we were eating, when I sent you that video, I was like, dinner next to the Red Keep, like the entrance. And then it's a walled city, Dubrovnik, and in the walled city is like, oh, there's the stairs of shame where she walks down naked, which I've seen like on TikTok. You know what I mean? I haven't seen it in the actual thing. So many things shot there, and there's so many gift shops and statues of Peter Dinklage outside of gift shops welcoming you in. I'll get to that in a second.
Your neighbor? Your grade school neighbor?
Yeah. The Adriatic Sea. The Adriatic Sea is beautiful. I guess this is just the portion of the Mediterranean that is there along the coast. Other countries over there, you got Bosnia, Montenegro. All these 5 countries used to be Yugoslavia. And I learned a little bit of the history. And then when we were like in middle school, they were Yugoslavia. And that was that Milosevic guy. Remember that name? I didn't know anything about it, but he was like in charge of it. And then they all got their independence. And then immediately Bosnia and Montenegro attacked Croatia. And there was like a war going on over there while we were in middle school. And they like embargoed the city of Dubrovnik, and they cut the power off for 3 months, and they bombed it, and like multiple, like I met multiple men who are now in their middle ages, or a little bit older than me, who were soldiers.
Oh,
soldiers at that time, and it was like, yes, I fought right there on that hill against the Bosnians. And
that's wild.
And the guy who took us around, the tour guide that took us around Dubrovnik, he was our age, so he was like 13, 14, and 91 in middle school as his city is being bombed. But it's pretty wild history. But okay, the Adriatic Sea. I think this probably looks just like the east coast of Italy. If you think about that rocky coast and then the beautiful clear water of the sea, like no sand.
Okay.
But you can look all the way down and see the rocks in the bottom, regardless of where you're at. Like, it doesn't matter how deep it is. You see all the way to the bottom. It's like so clear. And the culture is a boating culture. This is like a water culture.
Because there's no waves.
There's no waves.
Right.
And everywhere you look, there's like steps that have been built to go down into the water, or like, oh, here's a little platform and there's people. I don't know what it is. This is another, there's these things that I learn about myself as I get older, that there are these aesthetic combinations of things, like these settings. Again, we talked about an East Coast university.
Yeah.
There's something about that. I'm like, there's
with
something
steps
special
leading
about
into
it.
Clear waters.
No, it's separate.
I know, but if you could put it all together.
A botanical garden
of
any kind is very attractive to me. botanical garden make me horny. You know, like, but like
No, it probably makes you
horny.
peaceful.
Yeah. And there's something about
Botanical garden.
these beautiful.
I mean, we could have a whole line of things that, yeah.
When I say horny, I'm talking about a cosmic horniness. I'm not talking about just a simple sexual arousal. I'm talking about a cosmic soul
Botanical
arousal.
garden make me cosmically horny.
There are things that make me cosmically horny, and the Adriatic Sea has been added to the list. It is so beautiful.
The gentle invitation of steps leading into crystal clear waters.
I'm not one of these.
Make me cosmically horny.
Yeah. I'm not one of these anti-sand people. I know there's a lot of anti-sand people that don't like the beach.
That's a good point.
It's a lot of people. A lot of people don't like the sand.
Ocean Sands Beach people.
Sand. Yeah, that's confusing. I know what you mean by sands, but it's hard to understand.
Sand, ocean people.
Yeah, but I don't mind the sand, and I actually don't mind the waves, but I realize that as I'm categorizing cosmic horniness in my response to different beaches, that no waves, crystal clear water, and rocks, that's where it's at for me, man. And the first place that we stayed was the island of Hvar, Hvar.
Yes.
And this is
Jenna, you know about this?
Yeah, I've been there.
because Jenna did like a
everywhere.
whole cruise along the coastline. So she's been to at least all the places I'm gonna.
Well,
visit.
I didn't go to Dubrovnik.
Oh,
So
really?
I'm very excited to hear about that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, he's going to talk about
Yeah.
Bavar first, I think.
No,
Hvar.
Hvar.
First.
Yeah.
And almost like Var, like it's HVAR, like they you know, Croatian. I didn't learn any of it.
It's hard.
I was like, I don't know if this is gonna be worth it for a week.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is worth it. It's very complicated. It's very specific.
Is it crinkly in the mouth?
It feels a little Russian, if that's what you mean.
Okay, yeah.
And that's what we Americans do. If you have some in there, we just think it sounds Russian. You know, if there's some
Yeah.
gutturalness in it, and there's a little bit of that. But as far as I could tell, there's very little like romantic language influence where it's like, oh, I just heard a word I understood. It was like, I didn't hear any words I understood. Kind of the way that I might hear in Italy or Spain or something like that.
Okay.
Maybe I'm wrong, but that's just my
Well, that's your experience.
anecdotal experience. But
You stayed on the island or visited?
so the place that we stayed for the first 3 nights was the island, which is there's a bunch of islands, thousands of islands off of the coast of Croatia, and the majority are uninhabited. But this is the largest and pretty severely inhabited island, and it has the cities that are on, like one of the cities that's on this island. At least the claim, if I recall correctly, is like this is like one of the oldest cities in all of Europe that's been there for a really long time. Like started as like a fishing village, and so you go. We actually stayed in this little town called Starigrad, which was where our hotel was, which is on the other side of the island from where like all the action was. This is a party culture, by the way, and Hvar is very. We got a lot of people coming from all over the world on boats and just getting hammered.
On shore or on their boats? Probably both.
Both. And there's definitely like a club type vibe, which is not really my vibe. Like, again, club don't make me horny. Makes a lot of people horny. Club don't make me horny.
Yeah. And they're spilling out
I'm a
into the
botanical
streets.
gardens guy. And, well, we weren't even really, we were just told mostly, and we saw them, all these young folk coming in on the cruise ships, because the cruise ships descend on these towns and then just vomit people out, and then they go into all the restaurants and everything, and it gets a little overwhelming. But the thing that I did the first day when I got there was I saw that, so we were in this like hotel that was kind of up on a hill, and there was a road, and then there was a pathway, and I could see the Adriatic there behind me, and I got down there, and there was like just a little path along the coast that just goes forever, and there are these little places where there'll be like little steps that go down into it. And the first time I did this, I just did it barefoot. Not advisable. I got a little cut. I got a little cut on dive 1. And after that.
Oh, because you're talking about in the water. You swam with shoes.
I just had a
After
bathing
that.
suit on, the first time. And it was, it's rocks. You can catch yourself on rocks.
Yeah.
And everybody has these little water shoes, which I just had Tevas or Tevas, depending on where you're from, that I just would wear to then go down and kind of get in the water. But Jesse got multiple videos of me swimming with a very big smile on my face because it was like it's cool and cold and clean and clear, and there's a buoyancy to it because it's so salty. So it's not quite like Dead Sea saltiness. That's not even close, I don't think, but it's very salty.
Did you employ any of your free diving and go down?
So we did 2 boat trips. And the first day we did a boat trip. So this is the second day we were at Hvar, and we had signed up for this boat trip to a few different islands. And I'd been watching the boats out there, and it seems super calm. It seems like a lake. But the morning that we wake up to do the boat trip, they're like, we're going to pick you up a little bit later because it's a little bit rough out there today. And I'm like, okay.
You get seasick.
Let's take some Dramamine, yeah. And we meet our captain, and he was like, things were a little bit, there's quite a storm on the other side of the island today, near Split, which is where we had flown into. I was like, okay, interesting. I hadn't been on the internet. I hadn't seen anything. I'll come back. That's an important detail. We get in the boat, and this is a small speedboat, essentially. That has like a cover to keep you out of the sun, but this is like something you would take on Jordan Lake. This is not like a big boat. This is a boat that could comfortably hold 6 people.
Okay.
And we start going, and this dude is going fast. And we are getting thrown all over the place. And Jesse's looking at me like, can you believe this is like, this is not fun. We're paying for this.
Oh, no.
And the kind of thing where you're going along and you're all of a sudden you're like, whoa, bam! Like the boat will leave and come down and slam down. And then we were like, can we slow down a little bit?
Oh.
And it's like, and asking questions like, when are we going to stop? How far until the first stop? And what we did not know is that on the other side of the island, in Split, there was an historic storm that, with 100-mile-per-hour winds, a hailstorm, flooding the streets, blowing trees over. It like ruined the football stadium with the hail that broke through. And it was like all over the internet when we got back. Like TikTok, all these clips of like, this is the craziest thing that's ever happened in this town is what people were saying. And we were on the other side of a pretty small island, just on a boat, having no idea that this was happening.
Was he trying to go fast to make it better?
I think they've lost their sense. Boatmen have lost their sensitivity.
Yeah.
They didn't know that we're land people. But we did end up stopping at a little cove. And there's all these little coves, and there'll be a little village that had set up shop there. And this building was built in the 1400s and is still there. And they had snorkels, and we put them on. And the thing that I realized about myself is that I have a very specialized mask that I use when I scuba dive that is like super tight and holds my face really well. And also I shave right here a little bit to get a space for the mask to fit under my nose so it doesn't fill up.
Uh-huh.
And if I've got just random boat mask and I haven't shaved, as soon as I go down, it starts filling up with water. And so that started happening. So I wasn't able to really do the snorkel thing to any great effect.
Well, you need to bring your mask from now on.
I would if I had thought about it.
I didn't from now on.
I didn't do any research. I didn't really understand what I was about to experience. The vacation snuck up on me. Things got a little crazy.
I'm just saying. For the future.
But I think that diving would be great there, and I think that scuba diving would be great there. It has to be with that level of clarity.
As clear as it is, yeah.
But then we had a boat trip planned for a couple of days later, and Jessie was like, let's cancel that.
She's nervous.
And I said, you know what, baby?
The storm will be gone.
I think that it's going to be better. And when we went out the next time, it was absolutely beautiful. We took, and this is after we had gotten to Dubrovnik, and we went to, there's 3 islands. It's like they call the 3-something Elefante Islands, or I don't know, it's not Elefante, but that's what it is in my mind. And there is one island called Lopud, Lopud, and it's just this tiny island that, again, has been inhabited for probably 1,000 years. And there's all these there's a church there that's been in a monastery that's been converted to like a hotel. We didn't stay there. We just stopped there. And it's called like 1438, which is the year that it was built, is the name of the hotel that's been like converted into this like boutique hotel. We walked around that island and there was a botanical garden on the island. So I kind of got a 2-for-1. There was not a university. There was not an East Coast university there. But it was totally beautiful, and we kept saying, oh, it'd be cool to come back here, maybe stay at that place. And it's one of those things that I always struggle with whether or not you go back to a place or you find a new place. But so we were kind of like having that conversation as we were going, it's one of those things where it's like, instead of just enjoying being there, you're like talking about whether or not you're going to come back, which is really hard to not do when you're on vacation. But let's talk about Dubrovnik because it gets a bit fascinating. So this is this walled city where they filmed all of this Game of Thrones stuff. And you can see why once you get there. And the city is centuries old, again, like Middle Ages built. And it is small enough that you can walk around the wall in, an hour.
Okay.
But there's a bunch of houses and shops and old castle parts and stuff that are inside the walled city. And again, on the list of things that make me horny, walled cities.
Oh.
You remember when we went to, was it?
Antibes.
Yeah, but it was called St. Mark or something. St. Mark's.
Some other walled city.
In the middle of France, just like out of nowhere in France, there's this walled city.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jesse and I went to a walled city in Portugal. And I love them. Again, it has this like, we're here, we're safe. There's nooks and crannies,
Yeah.
I love them.
And it's so compact that everything that is now being utilized. They didn't, there's not spread it's still pretty homogeneously ancient feeling.
Yeah, and I just have this, I want to like get in the wall and I want to go into not just the shops, I want to go into the houses of the people who live above the shops in these old places, Well, that ended up happening because...
You got invited into a house?
So we decided to do a little historical tour of Dubrovnik, the old city in the wall, not the Game of Thrones tour. I just instinctively kind of felt like that was going to be an insult.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
And it turns out, boy, was I right about that. So Marin, our tour guide, shout out to Marin, he meets us, and he's just a super smiley, laughy, chatty guy. And I just immediately liked him. And what we started noticing is that he couldn't go 10 feet without somebody saying something to him. Hey! And saying some exchange or whatever.
Local celebrity.
And I'm like, who is this guy? And then Jesse was like, you're like the mayor, huh? And he was like, well... I am a representative. And so it turns out that this guy is on like the city council of the old city. And he was like, I have a protest today at 2:30. Protest? So we then get to know this guy. And it turns out that there's 1,000 people that live full time in the city. And, they all work in the industry there at this point because...
Tourist industry.
Right. And he lives in a house that his dad bought or grandfather bought many, many years ago that is like above one of the Game of Thrones stores.
Okay.
Like right above the store. And so we're kind of, and he wasn't like actively wanting to like talk about this, but my wife was there.
Yeah.
You talking to Jessie about a protest.
Oh, yeah.
She's going to start asking you all kinds of questions about what is it? How can we be a part of it? And so what we ended up finding out is that there's a contingent of locals who, while they obviously appreciate the fact that tourism fuels a lot of the economy. Before Game of Thrones was filmed there, like it was still a cool place to go, and it was a cool place to live.
Mm-hmm.
And now you have throngs of people descending on this walled city simply because it was where Game of Thrones was filmed. And so all this merchandise, all these stores, all these people taking pictures on the steps, people walking down the steps, people videoing women walking down the steps of shame or whatever.
Naked,
all of them naked. And then you start seeing that his contention and the people who live in there, and the thing that they're trying to get the mayor to understand is that, this may be King's Landing to you, but this is our home. And the signs say things like that. So I don't know specifically what the talking points are. If it's, hey, we need less cruise ships stopping here, or we need to regulate how many people are coming in here, or we need to regulate how many places I don't know what it's like. We need to take into account the fact that the tourism is taking away from the quality of life to the people who live there. Is the gist.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
because again, it's a walled city. There's nowhere to go.
Right.
Once that becomes like the thing, then you're starting adding Peter Dinklage statues.
yeah, right. I mean,
And I'm not going to comment on how big or small they are,
Right.
but they weren't there before.
life size. And the thing is you kind of get it, right? You're like, I mean, this thing that this guy.
And you felt good about not signing up for that tour.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Not just because of how great the experience was, but because you weren't perpetuating this eye roll-ish.
And
it'll die down a little bit, but I mean,
and it was,
not completely.
He wasn't like anti Game of Thrones as he was giving the tour. But he could tell that we weren't interested in asking in those questions, and I think that he liked that.
Yeah.
We were much more interested in the history of the city and like him talking about, I was here for a war. Well, that's crazy. An actual war, not one in a book that George R.R. Martin made up.
Uh-huh.
So so then the symbol of the town, the campaign for the town is like, it's like a P and then an arrow like going into the P to make an R. I should know what that means, but I wasn't thinking about it. But on all their signs, they had replaced the arrow with a dick. Like the protesters were basically riffing on the city symbol, basically saying, you want more stuff to come here, and really you're just all of us. It was great. Yeah, it was great. So when the protesters came by after our tour, and we took some pictures, which I will be showing now.
Okay.
There was a canopy held by 4 people, and then this pillow underneath the canopy, like suspended underneath the canopy, and it said like something like the mayor's plan or something like that, and then on the canopy is just a dildo.
The mayor's plan?
I don't know. Again, I don't know Croatian, so I don't know what it said. I'm just inferring here. It's just like whatever your city plan is that y'all are trying to do, we the people are saying that we're being by this dildo. So we liked getting involved in a little political unrest.
A little
local
anti-tourism.
Yeah.
While being a tourist.
And
but not of Game of Thrones. So like you were in a safe gray area.
Yeah. Well, and the kind of wild and ironic thing that was happening in my life at the time is I was smack dab in the middle of my own fantasy book that I am reading that is not Game of Thrones. So I don't know if you remember.
Yes, I remember.
So we were
thick book.
Yeah, we were on the set of WonderHole, and James, who does sound, boy, he had a book that it was so big that I thought maybe he was going to use it as a seat.
Yeah.
Like I thought that maybe
you've told this story here.
Oh, I've told that story here?
You've told this story.
Not here.
No, I haven't told it here.
It was like a more. I literally just saw a Reddit
about how
comment.
you started? Okay, then continue.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Different audience.
You're reading a big fantasy book called.
It's called The Way of Kings, Book 1.
Okay.
Brandon Sanderson is the guy who wrote this. I started reading it because James was in the middle of the 4th book. And then I was thinking, I read so much nonfiction and I read so much conceptual stuff that I almost always feel like I'm studying for a test. And I was like, I don't want my my break to be me studying for a test. I want it to be like mindless reading, like a fantasy world where nothing is happening that's actually happening. And I didn't want to do science fiction because sometimes that makes you think too much. So I'm trying to think less. But I did bite off a lot. 1,200 pages, I think, is the first book. And I don't know why I decided to do that. But James was in the 4th book, and then I started talking to my brother Cole, and he is in the middle of the 3rd book.
Oh.
And he's like, yeah, it's really good. I think you'd like it. And he's read a lot of fantasy over the years, and so.
I bet you I would like it.
I think you would. I mean, you read Game of Thrones, so I think you'd like it. Now, I will say, it is not raunchy. It has a lot of the intrigue and the magic, and it's really interesting and edifying in a weird way. But it is, it's wholesome. It's family friendly.
Okay. All right, I'm fine with that.
Well, I'm just saying, I don't know. They don't say the F word in it if you're into that kind of thing.
It's not my fantasy books that I
No.
Yeah, it's not.
I mean, I read 1,200 pages and nobody made love. That I could tell.
But you made it
Spoiler
through.
alert. I did make it through, but I was in the middle of reading this thing, and as I was telling Jesse, when George R.R. Martin sat down to begin writing this Game of Thrones series, there's no way. Of course, the furthest thing from his mind is that I am going to, by writing this successful series, I'm going to have a tangible impact on this entire part of the world where they just choose to film the live action version of what I'm writing. It's like, no one thinks that, and it's fine. It's not his fault, and it's not even necessarily a bad thing. It's just something that has to be managed. It's something that any city that decides to let somebody film someplace, they got to take into account. It's like the Breaking Bad lady's house.
Right.
You got to take it into account. You got to be ready. You got to be ready just in case it's one of these once-in-a-lifetime successes that people are going to create pilgrimage sites out of. And you never know if that's going to happen. But it's just a fascinating thing to think about. When I read this series, which I do recommend, I mean, I'm enjoying it. I'm in the middle of the 2nd book now. Boy, I can't imagine this being a movie or a TV show. It's one of those things that...
Oh, someone's trying to imagine.
Oh, I know they're trying, but the magic in the world and some of the specific things that happen, it would just be so much CGI stuff. It's the only way that you could do it, and I could just imagine it would just end up not working. I don't know. I'm sure they can figure it out. They can do a lot, but that's just what I thought. Is like, maybe this should just be a book. Maybe this should remain a book.
Well, I'm intrigued. Maybe
So
I'll think about it.
we did that 2nd boat trip was much more enjoyable. One of the things that people kept telling me is they would say things like, Michael Jordan is here. Steph Curry is here. Apparently lots of other people were there at the time. Yachts.
Uh-huh.
Michael Jordan in his big yacht. Steph Curry in his big yacht. This is a place where I guess NBA players pull up in their big yachts. Apparently,
Walk maybe eat at one place.
Mr. Bezos had stopped his yacht at one of the places before his wedding and had dinner at this one restaurant that we then made sure to not eat at. But so it is quite a
Hot
spot of tourism, and like I was telling you, I think that the idea, I see how you could be like, let's get a group of people to get on a boat. Like you did the cruise thing, Jenna.
I did, yeah. It was a catamaran. There was like a fleet of maybe 15 catamarans from like a 2-bedroom to 4. I was on a 4-bedroom with a few other girls.
Yeah, I mean it's the coast itself is so beautiful, and again, that's all I saw because we started in Split we take the trip down to Dubrovnik. That was the whole time we were there, and Croatia has basically come in and they have the entire coastline that Bosnia was about to have, I guess. It's like it's just basically in the same way like Chile like has the whole coastline instead of Argentina on that west coast. It's kind of similar setup there. Maybe that's why Bosnia attacked them in the 90s, but it's just a super, super beautiful place.
Were there people driving like Ferraris and McLarens around? Like
Not
it was
where
Monaco or something?
Not where we were. I know that probably was the case in some places, but this is
You didn't see Michael Jordan?
This is a nice boat culture. Very nice boats. Like when we were in Dubrovnik, we stayed a little bit south of the town in this little cove. And there's all these restaurants that are like, boom, right on the water. And then there's just these multi-million-dollar boats that have just set up right there that are like really nice houses that have their own staff. Like Below Deck, that reality show. You know, that level of, okay, there's 10 people who work on this boat. And there's people on vacation or just like a rich family or something. And people like sitting there eating their dinner on the back of this table that like overlooks the water. That's kind of the culture there for the tourists.
See, I would have hoped to have met somebody in the restaurant that then would have invited me back on their boat. Because, you know, they get bored out there on their, like, fancy mega yachts. They got everything they need except...
Link.
Except me, baby. Interesting companionship for the night.
Yeah, I don't
mean it like that in that way.
Yeah,
but
I don't
like,
invite myself to parties like you do.
I'd be on somebody else's yacht because that's a lot less expensive.
But I forgot to tell you.
I can afford that. I can literally afford to get on someone else's yacht.
Right.
But that's it.
The thing I told you that I didn't end up finishing telling you is that Marin actually let us go into his house. So
oh, yeah.
We didn't even ask. He was like, you want to go into my home? Because he could tell we wanted to. So we went into his house that is you know, it's just been there forever, and it's been in his family for generations. And then there's all this like incredible art that he just like, I think his grandfather or mother or somebody was an artist, and it's just kind of up on the wall. So that was very cool to be like, we're like in the old city right now, and there's a Game of Thrones store right down there. That's where Jesse and I got the pictures outside of the window of each other.
Oh, okay.
So Croatia was great. I recommend it. Swim in the Adriatic Sea. Put that on your bucket list. But then...
commandeering a yacht. That's what I'm going to do. You should have. I would have. That I would have to figure out how to make that part happen.
Yeah, I didn't meet anybody that was on one. I saw somebody die.
Go on.
Can I tell you that story?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I mean, it was from a distance. It was from a very long distance, and I didn't know they were dying until the next day. But I don't know the circumstances, but somebody fell in the water one night, an American woman, and there was like an ambulance and cops and all this stuff, and there was just people standing around somebody who was on the ground, and I was like 50 yards away as we were walking. I was like, oh, something's going on. And then the next day, Jesse's talking to another woman that was staying in our hotel, and she was like, I don't know what happened, but they got that woman out of the water and they couldn't get her to come back.
Oh, God. Because the paths are such that you could, if you were like tipsy or something, you could fall in?
100%. Like, there's no railings anywhere. There's just like concrete, and then it just drops off into the water. So I could see how that could happen in multiple places. But again, I don't know any of the circumstances of what happened. That was quite a note to end on. I saw a lot of people live.
There you go.
Mostly.
Everyone else you saw live.
I saw mostly living people.
Mm-hmm.
So then I go to North Carolina to the cabin. This is the first time that Jessie and I have stayed at our place since she has gotten it the way that she wants it, which is also the way that I want it. And this is the first that...
Architectural Digest.
That's right. This is the first time...
I just found something. I felt something underneath my shirt, and it was like crust stuck to my chest hair, and it really...
Washed today?
Really hurt to put it out. What is that?
That's probably a shower booger. Sometimes they'll come out and get on your chest hair.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Well, you just found it.
And then I pulled it through the shirt, and I pulled out a bunch of
I'm sorry for you, Link.
Sorry.
There was something about showing up at the place and not having to kill a million yellow jackets and not having to do a bunch of work on the house, which has been the case every other time we've ever gone there, but to just literally have a place of calm and peace and connection. We brought Sean and Barbara with us, and our mornings consisted of getting up when we wanted to, without an alarm clock, getting a cup of coffee, going and sitting on the porch that looks out into the woods with the dogs out there. I've got my book, which I'm reading it on an e-reader. I'm not taking it around the doorstop. And reading, talking,
sweating,
hearing the all the crazy birds that are out there in the trees. There's a little hummingbird that would come visit every morning and like look at us and then go up into the trees. And Sean and Barbara are out there with us. Sean acquainting himself with the faint reflection of me in the window of the house and then growling at it. He never quite put together that it wasn't me. It's a shadow version of me and a shadow version of himself that he has beef with.
Oh. At least he sees his reflection.
But this is the first time that you put him in front of a mirror, it's like it's too clear for him.
Too real.
But there's something about the like faint reflection of a window.
Okay.
I discovered a new pastime.
Can I ask one thing about the dogs? They go into the backyard and you just let them, like they wouldn't run into the woods and not come back?
No. Well, I mean, the funny thing about Sean,
because Jade
especially, I was like, all right, guys, do your business. I open the door. They go outside. They had a couple of spots where they would do their business. They're kind of figuring out, like, I want to go to this spot or whatever. Mm-hmm. As soon as Sean finishes his business, he goes back to the door. He's like, I don't like it out here.
Too hot.
Barbara will start wandering deeper into the woods or like slowly, and she doesn't like to respond to you. Mm-hmm. She's just like, I'll come back when I want to. I'm not going anywhere. Don't worry about me.
Yeah.
And then eventually she turns around and comes back. But there wasn't a problem. And they like it quite a bit. We did take them on a walk one day. That we went into town and kind of took them on a walk. And because Jessie always thinks that they need to get out more. And I'm always trying to convince her that they're happy and fine. That they're little dogs and they move around a whole lot and we take them out and like they don't. It's not like I don't have like a black lab that needs to run around all the time. So, and Sean proved this because we get out there and he starts they both start panting. But Sean was doing the thing where like any spot of shade he would like go to and just lay down completely and like he's starting to foam at the mouth. We had to like stop and like get him water from a restaurant. And he's just like, get me the hell back inside. Like, what are you people crazy? Like, why are we out here right now?
You had to carry him.
And I will say, it was hot as hell. And and of course, it wasn't just hot. It was the humidity. And you're just blasted with it. And you just forget that this is what it was like when you were growing up. And it rains every single day. The thunderstorm like every single day. So there's like water just waiting to turn into rain at all times. You get used to it I got used to it after a few days, and then I would like in the morning, like going out and being like, oh, it's like stepping into a steam bath. It's kind of cool. You just go out in just shorts, and there's something relaxing about it. But I play golf with Cole and my dad. And my dad's 79 years old at this point. And I'm like, I try to find a really early tee time because I'm like, I don't want to take this 79-year-old man out into this heat. Is he going to make it,
Yeah.
But I couldn't get a tee time before like 11 o'clock. So I'm like, okay, we're going to play it right in the peak of the day. Let's see what happens. And my dad is tough. He's very tough. And so I wasn't really worried about him. And also he would tell me if he needed to like take a break or whatever. Mm-hmm. But we start playing and we are sweating so much. Like you just immediately sweat through your shirt. And you're just so wet, and then it rained, and it started raining, and like there was no reaction to the fact that it was raining. It wasn't like, let's go somewhere. It was like, no, this is no different than it was a second ago.
You're already
just
stuck.
Because there's drops hitting us, it's no different than it was. And you think that when it starts raining, oh, it'll cool it down a little bit. It gets hotter.
Oh.
The steam hits the cart path and it just starts, the rain hits the cart path and it just starts steaming up more. It changes the temperature. None. I had to get up at like 4:30 one day because Barbara was flipping out and needed to like go take a midnight dump. And this was unusual, and I was like, maybe she got into something. And I walk out there again. It's like 4-ish in the morning. I open the door, and it's just like the same temperature that it was in the middle of the day. It's just because the moisture just keeps that temp. It's crazy. And it was especially humid and hot that first week. The second week got a little bit better.
Yeah.
But we're about 14 holes into 18, and I'm like, Dad, I'm pretty impressed. 79-year-old man playing out here with us in this heat. He said, well, we're not done yet.
But he did make it.
He did make it because it started hitting me. I was like, I would quit if you didn't have to play a certain number of holes. If like this was a sport where you just decided you were done, but it's not. Like you got to finish playing. You paid for it, so you finished playing. I was like, I would stop now.
Did you see any Irish hares?
I did not.
Okay.
I didn't.
What about these things called cart girls? Is that what they're called?
These things?
The concept.
You
There's a
say that
concept.
again?
Yeah, let me say that again.
These young women?
What about this concept?
These people.
What about this concept of golf cart girls?
They're not at this course that I played.
These are women that drive around on golf carts and will sell you beers.
Yeah, it's I've noticed these on California
portable
courses,
refreshments.
and I guess that they exist in North Carolina. But the courses that I play in North Carolina, they don't exist, and they've only been on a couple of courses I played out here. But yeah, it is usually a young woman with a golf cart that has been converted into a little portable
convenience store with beers.
Beers and snacks, and it depends. It just depends on the cart.
And a little flirtatiousness for some tips.
A little flirtatiousness probably goes a long way, but most of I don't frequent the cart girl TikTok.
I do. I like it. I think it's fun.
But I have seen it. It just means it's a cart girl.
I guess that is what I've seen. That's how I know about it.
Yeah, sure. That's what you're talking about.
And she's filming her interactions with the golf carters.
Yeah, making the drinks. And then there's this one girl I like because she decorates the cart based on like holidays or birthdays. I think it's really cute, actually.
Well, the thing that I've noticed is the ones that end up popping up on my feed are the ones in
Cart
which
boys could happen too.
the guy.
Why not cart boys?
The guys.
That's not on my feed. It's just the gals.
Yeah. I don't think it would be as effective based on the demo that's out there on the golf course, but let's see.
Ladies' Day. On a ladies' golf day. I feel
That's
like
right.
that would totally work.
Here's the thing.
Women play golf, and it's I've learned it's also called golf.
Yeah, that's right. That's a good one.
That was
It's a little WonderHole joke.
Yeah.
So what I've seen is the videos where they are essentially being harassed. And the thing is that you would think now it's common knowledge amongst these guys that like don't have an inappropriate flirtatious interaction with this girl. She's
of course
filming herself. First of all, don't do that anyway, of course. But do you not realize that she has social media, and if you do something creepy, she's gonna. I guess maybe this is becoming something people are aware of at this point. But
okay, yeah, I didn't know about that part of it.
But no cart girls were out there. I think it was. I think this course is too hot. Gotcha. Too hot for cart girls. I mean, not that they can't take the heat. I'm just saying it was too hot for the golfers.
Are you saying they can't take the heat?
But so the last thing that I will say, first of all, in North Carolina, the more that I go back and I go back in this is my home capacity,
yeah,
the more I enjoy it. Of course, I got to see all my family, but we also, Jesse and I got just to spend a lot of time, just the two of us and the dogs, just taking it easy. I had an incident. There's two quick things. One night we were watching a TV show in the media room that was featured on the AD Open Door, the one that we had the like argument over whether or not there should be I wanted it to be just a big TV because it's less trouble, and she wanted the projector screen set up. It's the projector screen set up.
Mm-hmm.
And because there were so many thunderstorms, it's not unusual for the power to go out. So we're sitting there watching a show, and the power goes out. And as soon as the power goes out, I hear voices outside. Now, you know where our house is and how far back.
It's isolated.
It's isolated. It's isolated. You hear...
Living out here.
You hear voices after the power goes out, and you think, somebody just cut the power off, and they're out there. That's what I'm thinking. But the voices are coming from behind me, and that's a bedroom.
Uh-oh.
There's nobody here. So I skip over to the garage, which is right next to the
home theater.
I grab a flashlight and a 7-iron.
Oh.
Because I have my golf gloves.
Okay.
And I go outside. Like, I got, powerful flashlight, 7-iron. I'm ready for anything. And that's when I see nothing, nobody. And I'm like, there's nobody out here because there's no place to go. Like, I would see them if they were out here. And then I go up into the neighborhood to see, am I the only house where the power's out? No, other houses are out. So this is a power outage, and then go back in. And then what I figured out is that you got the projector that's behind us, and it's connected to a Roku stick or something that's streaming content.
Uh-huh.
And because as the power is shutting down on that thing, it still has this content that is streaming in the cache or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And there's sound that plays, but it's just coming from the projector as the projector dies. And so the sound that you've been hearing in front of you now becomes this muffled voice you're hearing behind you. So it was just this technological phenomenon that made me think that somebody had sabotaged my power, and I would have hit him with the 7-iron.
But it could have been explained as a ghost.
It could have been. That
So
really
you missed
wasn't
that
one of the things I
opportunity.
was considering.
You missed that opportunity.
But the other thing that I experienced on this trip, that I have experienced in Los Angeles many times, but maybe life moves too fast out here to really enjoy it, is my dogs play fighting with each other.
Yeah.
Such a source of entertainment for me and Jesse, because Sean is so crazy and he gets so excited and he bites Barbara in so many different places, and she is so annoyed by it, and she starts growling, and she's fighting him off, and he's just running around he gets a running start. He goes between her legs. He finds he bites. He'll grab a little hair next face. And I feel a little sorry for Barbara, but we enjoy this so much. It hit me that I think that this is how dogfighting started, and now I feel guilty.
It's like the cute version. So I think you're okay.
I know, but what I'm saying is, is this inevitably leading to me getting involved in the dogfighting ring? Is that what's going to happen?
No, you're not going to Michael Vick all of a sudden.
Well, yeah, I don't want to. Trust me. I definitely do not want to do a Michael Vick situation. I'm just saying, if I continue to give in to
chickens.
This desire to watch my dogs fight,
Yes.
play fight.
Get some chickens.
Oh, okay? So now you want me you want me to get into chicken fighting?
It's not dog fighting.
I'm just saying, I was entertained by dog fighting on my vacation.
Oh.
It's to clip that out and put it on the internet. That's what I learned about myself. Is that
My dogs do that.
I'm not going to say dog fighting make me cosmically horny.
No.
I'm not going to say that.
Don't.
But it was one of the things that I've learned about myself and my wife, that we enjoy a good dog fight as long as it's our dogs and it's not a real fight.
Yeah.
Dog wrestling, you might call it. Your dogs do this?
They do that, yeah.
Have you explored
They make noises
the
like that.
level of how entertaining it can be? Because
Yeah.
again, and they do this in LA, but
They don't do it that often.
there's
but
something about these morning fights that they would have. And Sean,
They're pretty even. They're pretty even with it.
Well, Barbara can take him out. He's like a little gnat.
But she doesn't seem...
But she's just annoyed by him. And she'll scream at him.
Yeah, he's having fun. She's annoyed. Both of my dogs, they're more having fun, but it doesn't last long because they get worn out.
These go quite a bit.
Yeah.
These go quite a bit. A few rounds.
I bet Sean could go. You get footage?
Oh, you know what? Jesse probably did.
Oh, yeah. See if we can throw some footage in it.
So let me just say, at the end of the day, this was a much needed break. I came back enthused for what it is that we doozed. There was a lot of reflection that took place, a lot of note-taking / introspective journaling. Like I picked that habit back up that had slowed down a little bit, and it greatly accelerated during this time, which is always a sign that I'm actually, processing things. And the thing that I think the principle that the cheesy cliche principle that Jesse and I kept talking about was human being, not human doing.
Well,
which I'm sure somebody said at some point. And that's a very difficult thing for me to do because even when I think about the
you
break,
just said do. It's a difficult thing to do.
It's a difficult thing to be. Because even the breaks, when I think about a break, I think about
the stuff I'm
going to do during the break. That's not in the realm of the stuff that I do when I'm working.
Yeah.
And and it isn't necessarily work. Some of it is like I want to connect with this person, but I can turn it into a list of tasks.
Right.
And as I got towards the end of this break and realized that there's so much of it that I hadn't accomplished, and there was so much just being that I had done. But then I started looking at all the stuff that I had written down and the things that I had sort of realized, conclusions I'd come to, conversations that me and Jesse had had. I was like, oh, this was really important, and I've got to get to a place where I can set this mentality in motion earlier in the trip rather than having to take an entire month to realize it every time.
Yeah.
Like, what would it be like to be like the day comes for a break and it really is about being and not doing? But I'm getting there, and I got there by the end of it, and then I had to come back and do some stuff that I'm very, very excited about doing, by the way.
Yes, which makes me think of, I'll plug WonderHole one more time. Remember to watch that. Thanks for sharing your break. I feel actually a little relaxed having heard about it.
Oh.
All right, we'll talk at you next week. We've got a lot that we want to let you in on about WonderHole and everything that we poured into that. And so anxious to get that out into the world and to start getting reactions from mythical beasts, including you. So do it on the Society and on YouTube every Sunday. All right. Bye-bye.
Yo, Link and Rhett. Yeah, I just said that. I heard you on the radio this morning, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM, New York, dude. Means you really made it. Congrats, yo. Love you guys. Peace.
Watch WonderHole Season 2 starting this Sunday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern on the Rhett Link YouTube channel, or stream it early and ad-free exclusively on the Mythical Society.